here's my review for Little Busters episode 5 and episode 6. I'm going to put them all together in one video, so sit back and enjoy, and I'm just going to do the best I can with both these reviews, or within this one review here. So episode 5, let's start. So when it comes to episode 5, we get to feel the emotions that Komari is going through, and she comes to the realization that her brother is basically gone. That this is basically the entire episode there. So basically, what was going on? A quick summary of what was happening is that Komari, everyone's looking at her and Komari and stuff like that. Komari, she's just like this sunshine, bright smile, always happy. She loves seeing other people happy. She's just this overflowing joy of this kind of a character. So you wouldn't think anything's wrong with her, but inside, there's something wrong. And they keep thinking about this whole thing. And so Komari, she ends up telling this the story. Well, tell about the whole brother thing again. She ends up talking about her brother, and she ends up remembering something about her brother, about some white sheets floating in the air because she had this dream. And so that ends up giving Riki an idea, oh my god, is that a hospital? Because there's some white stuff floating in the air, and it was a high place, and he thought a hospital. And so he wanted to know more information. So he went to the old man. He went to the old man to see if he can get some information out of him, and basically he ends up saying, whatever you're thinking is actually correct. So with that being said, there's nothing else you need to do. Don't pray anymore into Komari. Let her figure out on her own. Let her do her thing, because the thing is, Komari doesn't know her brother is dead, and it's why is no one telling him? That's telling her. That's why I've been wondering why myself. Why isn't no one telling her that her brother's dead? So she, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know why they ain't doing this. So that makes it think, okay, there must be a bigger secret to this, to why they're not telling her. And so with that being said, Komari ends up going on a date with Riki. He ended up going on a date because she wanted to find something that she lost. And so she ends up going to places that kind of remember her, so she can remember her brother. So that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to remember her brother, and she ends up going to some places like the street. She's the forest and stuff, and then you see far ahead there's a hospital, and so that must be the hospital that her brother must have went to. And so with that all happening right there, later on that night, Riki was at the school, and he ends up running into Komari, and Komari wanted to see the stars basically, and so they end up watching the stars together. She ends up remembering some stuff, and remembers this, the story that she had, and she remembered. And so at the end of this episode, it started raining and stuff, and Riki ends up finding this cat. This cat is dead, and he can't find it. I mean, you can't do anything about it. It's dead. And so that ended up making just not Riki, but Komari cry all of a sudden. She just started wailing out all of a sudden. And I guess she finally comes to the realization that her brother is gone, and so that's why she's crying. And it was just sad face. It was pretty sad actually. This episode was overall okay for everything, because the thing is, yes, so the whole point was she actually lost her memory of her brother, and that her brother is dead, but now she remembers. But the thing is, I thought there was more to it, you know what I'm saying? That there's supposed to be some more to it. There could be a big secret besides, because why wouldn't her family tell her that her brother's dead? You know what I mean? So it's weird. So there's still more to this, which is why there's the next episode. The next episode must explain why they're not trying to tell her, and the secrets why they're not trying to tell her anything, or what's going on basically. So we're gonna see more, and we're gonna get more of an explanation. But right now, this was, I don't know, I kind of want to say good though. This was a pretty solid episode, I have to say, at least. So it's just because you can feel the emotions and what she's going through, and you can feel how she feels, and it like I said again, it is sad. So honorable mention though, within this episode, we got Masato in there. He's sleeping and stuff, and he's all working out, working out in his sleep. I'm like, that's beast. but with that, like I said, this again, I'm feeling sorry for Komari. So let's get into episode 6 now. Okay, with episode 6 of Little Busters. Yeah, wow. Okay, that's all I can say. This was good. This was really good. Really good episode. Really good episode, and it wind this whole thing down with Komari. So it was sad. It was sad. It's really. I'm like, oh god, I don't know. I don't know. It was really sad. That's all I can say. Okay, I can't even form anything into words. It's just what Komari was going through. How she just went into a total lapse of she just crashed. She crashed. Seriously, she thought Riki was her older brother. That was her Onii-Chan. And I'm like, Man, it's just weird. Riki actually kind of looks like her older brother too. So I mean, I can see how she could possibly get that wrong, anyways, if she just was out in that like, mode and stuff like that, where she just cried and couldn't handle his death. When she finally realized, she just went to this whole different mode and tried to replace it by making Riki her older brother. And Riki he was the only one that could really help her and try to find a way to make her come to terms with her brother's death and to move forward. So that's what he had to do, and he tried to find ways to do this, and he ends up going back to Riki's, not Riki, but Komari's grandfather and stuff, and he's like, so I'm afraid this was gonna happen. That's what he was saying. I'm afraid this was gonna happen. This is what the whole secret was. That's part of the reason why they don't really try to say anything about death or anything like that. And there's a reason why he's not even around her, mainly because Komari cannot take death. If anything dies, she goes into that mode. She just she just lapses and she just goes down. She just crashes. So there's nothing. It's like a goldfish died and she felt like that. It's like, there's nothing you can do, and that's why he doesn't want to be around. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time left living in this world, so he's like, I don't want to be around her for her to have that again, for her to just crash again. We can't be having that, So it's just, like I said, it's a really touching episode, really, really heartfelt. That's like, it's hard to really express everything because it was really sad, This was a really good episode of Little Busters. I'm looking for more. But after all that happened, Riki ends up finding a way to be able to make her come to terms. Basically finishing off the book that her Onii-Chan, her big brother, made. So he's trying to draw a continuation story. And basically what he did was draw Little Busters, into like egg form and stuff like that. And he couldn't draw for crap, by the way, but it started actually looking good after he got done with it. And so basically, she's supposed to continue on the story. There's blank pages in there, and basically that's when they met up, and she ends up telling him, "You have you can move forward. Your brother's gone, but it doesn't mean this is in the world. You can actually keep moving forward. And fill in those blanks, those pages, because you have a new life. You're gonna keep going. Your life still goes on." And you can always make the new memories and new things. You just gotta come to terms with everything, basically. And she finally realizes that, and it was just like a big, like, fresh breath air or something. She just finally smiled. Her eyes start to gloss, like actually shine and stuff like that, like the sun. And the thing is also, Rin, the girl. She doesn't want to say Komari-kun, I think it was. Komari-kun. She never really said her name like that, but she actually finally says her name. She actually hugs her, comes in and hugs her and stuff like that in the episodes. So it's just like, she finally comes to terms and she finally is not like super shy around her. Like, she really, cares about her and stuff. So just, like I said, there's a lot of good things that was really about this episode. So it's like, it's just hard to really express and explain, because it was just a very touching episode, very emotional. And you can feel for Komari with this and everything. Not to mention, like I said, Riki's backstory does help make her realize things can get better, things can go on, even if sad, tragic things happen in your life, So it was, like I said, it was a really good episode actually. So yeah. With that being said, leave your comments below on episode 5 and episode 6. How you like the wrap up of how this whole story was going with Komari. Did you feel for her like I did? Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and say I cried or anything like that, but I was like, wow, I was getting sad. Like that moment when she's like, Onii-Chan, you're not gonna leave me, and he said it to Riki, and I was like, oh, like dang, it was just I was like, man, I can't believe it, just can't believe it. So like that was just one of those moments right there. Masato was actually trying to, help out a little bit. He actually just left the room, and it was just a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of just. It's a good story. That's like I said, it was a good story. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. Because the next episode seems like they're going to get another member. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next with this. The reviews are coming back, by the way, too. I just took a little short hiatus with this. So my bad on that. But the reviews are back with the Little Busters. So expect them weekly again. So again, sorry about this. So with that being said, leave comments below, tell me what you think, like this review or reviews, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more Little Buster reviews from me. So this has been the Thabreakmaster, and until then, break out.